UFC 271 Adesanya vs. Whittaker 2 took place Saturday, February 12th at Toyota Center in Houston, Texas. UFC middleweight champion Israel Adesanya runs it back with #1 ranked contender Robert Whittaker in a thrilling championship rematch. Let's talk Whittaker vs. Adesanya. The #1 ranked UFC middleweight contender and former UFC middleweight champion Robert "Bobby Knuckles" Whittaker, 23-5, fighting out of Sydney, Australia, has a sight set on reclaiming his middleweight championship by becoming the first fighter to finish Adesanya in MMA. Whittaker has won 12 of his last 13 fights and brings in an ultra-creative stand-up attack. His movements are well thought out along with his excellent striking, and he has made some solid adjustments in his last few fights. He brings in a solid game plan and looks to take revenge on his last loss against Izzy. But on the other side of the octagon, you have the UFC middleweight champion, Israel "The Last Stylebender" Adesanya, the #3 ranked men's pound-for-pound fighter, 22-1, fighting out of Auckland, New Zealand, and aims to stop Whittaker again to keep his spot atop the middleweight division and continue building his legacy as one of the most dominant UFC champions. Adesanya is one of the most elegant strikers as you could create, and it has been a challenge for his opponents to predict his movements. He possesses great speed, power, accuracy, and creativeness, along with his impressive fighting IQ, and I can't wait for this rematch. Tonight's betting odds have Whittaker coming in at a +225 underdog, and Stylebender comes in at a -280 favorite. And here's how it went down. The Houston crowd is ready and the fighters came out patient, feeling each other out. Izzy clearly invested early, working heavy kicks to the legs of Whittaker, and also landed a straight right that sat Whittaker down, but he got right back to his feet. But Izzy looks to have found his rhythm early and getting the better of the exchanges and seems very comfortable out there. Whittaker halfway through the second round secured a takedown, but Izzy got right back to his feet quickly. Izzy's movement is just so slick. In round 3, Izzy throws a kick and gets taken down, but Izzy again right back to his feet. He has clearly worked on his takedown defense. Izzy was fighting almost too patient tonight, which is understandable, not wanting to take too many chances cruising through the fight, but in doing so, it was keeping this fight really close. In round 5, Whittaker shot another takedown late in the round, but Izzy again showed great defense. Guys, the real story of the night was Whittaker had clearly worked on his wrestling, and Izzy had worked hard on his takedown defense. But the real difference was Izzy was just a sniper with his striking and put on another impressive performance. Israel Adesanya defeats Robert Whittaker by unanimous decision to retain his middleweight title. All right, here's my final thoughts. The biggest question we had is, would Whittaker be able to make the right adjustments to beat Izzy this time around? The last fight wasn't very close, and Whittaker over his last several fights has shown some serious improvement. Well, we have our answer. Stylebender never looks out of place. He is always calm and comfortable. He moves so elegantly and like a surgeon picks his opponents apart. But I want to give a shout out to Whittaker, who is a great fighter, and this was a competitive fight, but it never seemed very close. You can argue that Izzy is the best striker we have ever seen in the octagon and seems to improve every time he fights, which is scary. He is truly an artist. All right, here's some quick stats on Stylebender. He is the UFC middleweight champion. He is the #3 ranked men's pound-for-pound ranked fighter. He has 15 wins by KO. He is undefeated at middleweight in the UFC with 11 wins. He has never been finished in MMA. He now holds wins over Robert Whittaker twice, Marvin Vettori, Paulo Costa, and Yoel Romero. Okay, what's next for the last Stylebender? The #3 ranked Jared Cannonier tonight had a strong performance and a convincing KO win over a very tough Derek Brunson. And in the post-fight octagon interview with DC, the Killer Gorilla screamed at Dana White, yelling for a title shot with Izzy, and this is the fight to make. Sean Strickland may have been a sleeper, but just didn't have the convincing performance Cannonier did to secure this title shot. This is the fight to make. Guys, let me know in the comments what you thought about Stylebender's performance tonight and who you think he should fight next. Just want to give a big shout out to all of our loyal fans. We appreciate the support. Don't forget to smash that like button. This is Jay Canton with MMA Weekly's The Lowdown Breakdown. See you next time.